Captain June Park stared at the main screen of the Earth Defense Command Center. The black shape against the stars hadn't moved for 6 hours. Nobody knew what it was, but everyone had the same fear. Aliens had come to Earth. Any response to our messages? June asked, his voice steady despite the cold feeling in his stomach. Lieutenant Hana Kim shook her head. Nothing, sir. We've tried all frequencies and even light signals. The object remained silent. June rubbed his tired eyes. At 42, he had spent most of his life preparing for this moment. The Earth Defense Force had been created 15 years ago when the first signs of alien technology were found on Mars. Since then, humanity had been waiting, watching the stars, wondering when the owners would come to check on their lost devices. That day had finally arrived. Size estimate? June asked. Approximately 2 kilometers long, half a kilometer wide, answered technician Dae-yoon, his fingers flying across his keyboard. It's massive, sir, and the energy readings are off the charts. General Kwan walked into the command center, his face grim. The room fell silent. As the head of Earth's combined military forces, his presence meant the situation had escalated. Captain Park, the general said, I need your team ready in 30 minutes. The world leaders have decided we need eyes on that thing. June nodded. His team was the best, 6 specially trained soldiers and scientists who had trained for first contact. They had hoped it would be peaceful. The silent black ship suggested otherwise. What are our orders if the visitors prove hostile? June asked. The general's face hardened. You're carrying a nuclear device, remote-controlled. If these aliens show any sign of aggression, we need to strike first. With respect, sir, that seems premature. 4 military satellites have gone dark since that thing arrived, General Kwan said. It's already made its intentions clear. 90 minutes later, June's small ship approached the alien vessel. Up close, it was even more intimidating. A smooth black surface that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. No visible windows, no markings, nothing that suggested how to get inside. Are you seeing this? Asked Dr. Sung Lee, the team's scientist. Her eyes were wide with wonder rather than fear. The material isn't like anything we've made. It's almost like it's flowing. June saw what she meant. The surface of the alien ship seemed to ripple slightly, like black water disturbed by a gentle breeze. Life signs? He asked. Lieutenant Hana checked her scanner. Nothing we can detect. Either they're shielded or what? Asked technician Dae. Or there's nobody home. As they circled the massive ship, something changed. A section of the black surface began to change. It transformed from solid to liquid, opening a rectangular gap large enough for their shuttle. It's inviting us in, whispered Hana. June thought quickly. Protocol said they should retreat and report, but the opportunity was too important to miss. We're going in, he decided. Sung, Hana, you're with me. Dae, Min, and Jin stay with the shuttle. Be ready for a quick exit. Captain, Dae said nervously, the nuclear device stays on the shuttle, June finished firmly. We're not starting an interstellar war today. The inside of the alien ship was even stranger than the outside. The walls glowed with a soft blue light that seemed to come from nowhere and everywhere at once. The corridors were tall and wide, suggesting the builders were larger than humans. Most strange of all, the ship was empty. No crew, Sung said, looking at her scanner. No bodies, nothing. Could it be automated? Hana suggested. An unmanned probe? June touched one of the walls. It felt warm, almost alive. A probe doesn't need corridors this big. It was built for a crew. They walked deeper into the ship. The passageways seemed to change as they moved, rearranging themselves like a living maze. After 20 minutes, June realized they were being guided. It's taking us somewhere, he said. The corridor ended in a large circular room. In the center was a raised platform with what looked like a control panel. Screens or windows lined the walls, showing views of Earth from different angles. It's the bridge, Hana said. Or whatever they call their command center. Sung approached the control panel cautiously. These might be their version of computers, but I don't see anything like a keyboard or... She stopped mid-sentence as the panel lit up. Symbols and shapes appeared on its surface, swirling and changing. It activated when you got close, June observed. Try touching it. Before Sung could respond, a voice came through their communication devices. Captain Park, said General Kwan, his voice tense. We have a situation. The alien vessel is powering up some kind of energy system. Our satellites are detecting a massive buildup. What's happening in there? June looked around. Nothing seemed to have changed. We're not seeing any signs of weapons activation, General. The ship seems to be responding to our presence, but not in a threatening way. You have 15 minutes to exit that vessel, the General ordered. After that, we're deploying the nuclear option. June felt his heart sink. Sir, that would be a mistake. We need more time to understand. That's an order, Captain. 15 minutes. The communication cut off. June turned to his team, his mind racing for a solution. We need to find a way to communicate with this ship, he said urgently, to make it understand the danger. As if in response, the control panel changed again. The swirling symbols formed into a pattern that looked almost like letters, not in any human language, but organized in a way that suggested meaning. It's trying to talk to us, Sung whispered. June approached the panel. Without thinking, he placed his hand on it. The world exploded into light and sensation. June felt his mind stretching, expanding. Images flashed through his consciousness. Stars, planets, strange beings with multiple limbs. And something else, a presence, a vast intelligence, curious and ancient. The ship was alive, and it was now inside his head. June fell to his knees, overwhelmed by the connection. He could feel the ship's systems as if they were extensions of his own body. He could sense its purpose, its mission. It wasn't here to attack, it was here to evaluate. Captain! Hana was shaking him, her face worried. What happened? You've been frozen for almost 5 minutes. 5 minutes? It had felt like seconds. The ship, he gasped. It's alive, and it's not alone. Before he could explain, a deep rumble shook the vessel. The screens along the walls flashed red. What was that? Sung asked, steadying herself against the control panel. June knew, with a certainty that came from his new connection. Earth fired a warning shot, some kind of missile. The ship's response was immediate. The blue light turned red. The entrance they had used sealed itself. On the screens they could see their shuttle detaching itself from the hull, moving away on automated systems. No, June whispered, feeling the ship's intentions through their link. It's protecting itself. We're trapped, Hana said. June shook, his head still trying to process the vast stream of information flowing into his mind. Not trapped, chosen. The alien ship, now fully awake, broke away from Earth orbit and accelerated toward deep space, carrying June and his team into the unknown. The most dangerous ship ever sent to Earth was leaving. And despite everything, despite the fear and uncertainty, June found himself strangely reluctant to go home. The adventure had only just begun. 3 days had passed since the alien ship left Earth's orbit. Captain June Park and his 2 team members, Lieutenant Hana Kim and Dr. Sung Lee, were still alive, which seemed like a miracle. The ship provided them with water that formed in small pools along the walls. It also created a gel-like substance that, while tasteless, gave them energy when eaten. It's keeping us alive, Sung said, examining the food gel with her portable scanner. This contains exactly what human bodies need: proteins, carbohydrates, vitamins. Hana remained suspicious. Why? Are we pets? Prisoners? Test subjects? June touched the wall of the ship, feeling the now familiar tingle of connection. Since that first contact on the bridge, the link between his mind and the ship had grown stronger. He couldn't control the vessel, but he could sense its intentions. None of those, he said quietly. We're guests. Or maybe students. Students? Hana frowned. What does that mean? Before June could answer, the corridor in front of them changed shape. The walls flowed like liquid, opening into a new room they hadn't seen before. Inside was something that made them stop and stare. A three-dimensional map of the galaxy floated in the center of the room. Thousands of stars glowed with certain systems marked in different colors. Earth's sun was highlighted in blue. "It's showing us the neighborhood," Sung whispered in awe. The map zoomed in, focusing on a cluster of 17 star systems marked in gold. Lines connected them, forming a network. "The Dominion," June said, the knowledge coming to him through his link with the ship. "That's what they call themselves. 17 different alien species who work together." Hana looked at him sharply. "How do you know that?" "The ship tells me things. Not in words, but in feelings. Ideas." June struggled to explain. "It's like having another set of memories." "Is that safe?" Sung asked, concerned. "Your brain wasn't designed to connect with alien technology." June had been asking himself the same question. The connection felt right, but it was changing him. He noticed things he never had before. Colors seemed richer. His thoughts were clearer. And sometimes he caught himself thinking in patterns that didn't feel human. "I don't think I have a choice," he said finally. "The ship chose me as its translator. It's learning about humans through me." The map changed again, showing Earth's solar system. A series of small dots appeared around the outer planets. "What are those?" Hana asked. June felt a chill as the information flowed into his mind. "Weapons. The Dominion placed them there years ago. If Earth ever became a threat, they could be activated remotely." Sung's eyes widened. "They've been watching us all along." "They watch everyone," June confirmed. "The galaxy is full of young species like us. Some develop peacefully, others become conquerors. The Dominion keeps order." "And which are we?" Hana asked. "Peaceful or conquerors?" That's what this ship was sent to decide. Back on Earth, panic had set in. The alien vessel's departure with 3 humans aboard was seen as an act of war. Military forces worldwide were on high alert. Scientists worked frantically to understand the alien technology from the limited data June's team had sent before being taken. In orbit around Earth, 5 new ships had appeared, much smaller than the first, but clearly of the same origin. They made no hostile moves, but ignored all attempts at communication. General Quan faced the hardest decision of his career: attack the new arrivals and potentially start an interstellar war, or wait and risk Earth's safety. Aboard the main ship, June and his team continued to explore. The vessel seemed endless, its corridors rearranging to create new rooms filled with wonders. They saw chambers containing what appeared to be samples from thousands of worlds, plants, minerals, artifacts from different civilizations. "It's a research vessel," Sung concluded after examining a room full of preserved life forms. "This ship travels the galaxy collecting specimens." "Not exactly," June said. Through his link, he understood more of the ship's purpose now. It doesn't just collect, it evaluates, judges. As if responding to his words, the ship created a new doorway. Beyond it was a room unlike any they'd seen. The walls displayed moving images, scenes from Earth's history, wars, destruction, cities burning, but also moments of peace and creation. Children playing, artists at work, scientists making discoveries. It's been watching us for centuries, June realized, learning everything about humanity. Hana pointed to one wall where images showed Earth's current situation, the military response, the new alien ships in orbit. "Those smaller vessels," June said, receiving information through his link. "They're defenders. They'll protect Earth from outside threats while the evaluation continues. But they'll also prevent Earth from attacking this ship." "So we're trapped in a standoff," Hana said grimly. "Not exactly." June approached the center of the room where a pedestal had formed. On it sat what looked like a helmet made of the same, flowing black material as the ship itself. I think it wants me to use this." "Captain, that could be dangerous," Sung warned. "Your connection to the ship is already affecting you. This might make it permanent." June nodded. I know, but it's also our only chance to communicate properly, to help Earth. Before either of his companions could stop him, June picked up the HFY helmet and placed it on his head. The effect was immediate and overwhelming. His consciousness expanded beyond his body, flowing through the ship like water. He could feel every system, every function. More than that, he could sense the vast network that connected this vessel to the Dominion. 17 advanced civilizations spread across the stars, watching, waiting, and they were watching him now. Through the helmet, June received a message, not in words but in pure understanding. The ship had been sent to Earth as a final test. Humanity stood at a crossroads. Their technology was advancing rapidly. Soon they would spread beyond their solar system. The Dominion needed to know, would humans be partners in galactic peace or would they bring their wars to the stars? The test was simple. Earth's leaders had to make a choice, attack the alien ships and prove the pessimists right, or show patience and wisdom. When June removed the helmet, he found Hana and Sung staring at him with shocked expressions. "Captain, your eyes," Hana whispered. June didn't need a mirror to know they had changed. He could feel the difference, his vision enhanced, able to see spectrums of light invisible to normal humans. It was just the beginning of the changes. "We need to contact Earth," he said urgently. "They don't understand what's happening. If they attack these ships, the Dominion will consider humanity too dangerous to join the galactic community." "And what happens then?" Sung asked quietly. June didn't answer. The images in his mind, planets quarantined, civilizations contained, or worse, were too terrible to describe. "The ship will help us send a message," he said instead. "But they may not believe it comes from us. They may think we're being controlled. Aren't you?" Hana asked bluntly, nodding toward his altered eyes. June considered the question. The ship's presence in his mind was growing stronger. Its thoughts and his were beginning to merge. Soon, he might not be fully human anymore, and strangely, the idea didn't frighten him as much as it should. "I'm still me," he said finally, "but I'm also becoming something more. And if that's what it takes to save Earth, I'm willing to pay the price." The ship hummed around them as if in approval. The test had begun, not just for humanity but for June Park himself. A week had passed since Captain June Park first connected with the alien helmet. The changes in him were now impossible to hide. His eyes glowed with a soft blue light in the dark. His movements were faster, more fluid. When he spoke about the Dominion, his voice changed slightly as if someone else was speaking through him. "The council will meet soon," June told Hana and Sung as they sat in what they now called the viewing room. On the walls around them, images of Earth continued to play. Representatives from all 17 species will decide Earth's fate. "And they're basing this decision on what?" Hana asked. Despite spending a week on the alien vessel, she remained skeptical. "A few days of watching us panic because a giant ship appeared in our sky?" "They've been watching for centuries," June replied. "This is just the final evaluation." Sung, who had been studying the ship's biological components, looked up from her scanner. "The ship's tissue samples suggest it's partly grown, partly built. Some sections are clearly mechanical, but others are living tissue." "Yes," June nodded. "The Dominion doesn't separate technology from biology the way humans do. Their ships are partners, not tools." "Is that why it chose you?" Hana asked. "To be its partner?" Before June could answer, the ship around them hummed deeply. The walls shifted, and a new doorway appeared. "It wants us to go there," June said, standing up. "Something's happening." On Earth, General Kwan stared at the message displayed on his screen. It had come from the alien ship, but claimed to be from Captain Park. The message was simple: "Do not attack. Earth is being tested. Peaceful response necessary for survival. Trust me. Captain June Park." Could it really be from him? Asked the president, who had joined the emergency meeting via secure video. "Impossible to verify," General Kwan replied. "But our satellites have detected unusual energy patterns from the main alien vessel. It appears to be communicating with the smaller ships in Earth orbit." "And our attack plan?" The general hesitated. The nuclear option is ready, Madam President. We can target all 6 alien ships simultaneously. But if this message is genuine, if we attack and Captain Park is right, we fail their test. The president finished his thought. But if we do nothing and this is a trick to lower our defenses, the decision weighed heavily on them both. The fate of humanity might depend on their next move. Inside the alien ship, June, Hana, and Sung entered a massive circular chamber they had never seen before. In the center floated 17 glowing orbs, each a different color. The Council, June whispered, feeling the ship's knowledge flow into him. Each orb represents one of the Dominion species. They're connecting to the ship remotely. The orbs, pulsed with light, communicating in a language of colors and patterns. June understood it somehow, translating for his companions. They're discussing Earth. Some believe we're too violent, too unpredictable. Others see potential in our creativity, our adaptability. They're deciding if we live or die based on a light show. Hana's voice was tight with anger. They're sharing information, June corrected. Experiences, observations, predictions. The Dominion doesn't vote like we do. They harmonize, find the pattern that connects all viewpoints. As they watched, the orbs began to spin, moving faster until they formed a ring of light. In the center, an image appeared. Earth, surrounded by a red glow. No, June gasped, understanding the meaning. They're leaning toward containment. What does that mean? Sung asked. Earth would be isolated. The weapons around our solar system would be activated to prevent any ship from leaving. Humanity would become a quarantined species studied but never contacted again. Hana's face hardened. Because we're dangerous? Look at them. They put weapons around our planet without our knowledge. They're the threat, not us. The Dominion has seen this pattern before, June explained, the ship's memories flowing through him. Young species with advanced weapons, a history of warfare and rapid technological growth. Without guidance, most destroy themselves or become conquerors. The image of Earth in the center of the orbs changed, showing scenes of human history, world, wars, nuclear tests, environmental damage. But then other images appeared. International cooperation, scientific achievements, art, and music. They're divided about us, June realized. They see our potential for both destruction and creation. Suddenly he felt a pull from the ship, stronger than ever before. It wanted something from him. It needs me to speak for humanity, he said, stepping toward the circle of orbs. To show them what humans truly are. Captain, wait. Hana reached for him. You're changing too much. How do we know you're still on our side? June turned to face her, his glowing eyes meeting her worried ones. Because despite everything, I'm still human, and I believe we deserve a chance. He stepped into the circle of spinning orbs. The moment he crossed the threshold, energy surged through his body. His consciousness expanded beyond the ship, beyond the solar system, connecting to the vast network of the Dominion itself. For one overwhelming moment, June Park experienced the galaxy as the Dominion did. Millions of worlds, thousands of species, patterns of life and civilization stretching across space and time. He felt their ancient wisdom, their patient guardianship, their fear of chaos. And they, in turn, experienced humanity through him. All its flaws and virtues, its violence and compassion, its terrifying potential. On Earth, tension reached its peak. The alien ships had begun emitting powerful energy signatures. Military advisors pushed for immediate action. They're powering weapons, insisted one general. We must strike first. The president hesitated, remembering Captain Park's message. Give them 1 more hour, she ordered. 1 hour before we launch. In the council chamber, June fought to maintain his sense of self against the overwhelming presence of 17 ancient civilizations. With every ounce of his remaining humanity, he projected one simple truth. Humans were worth saving. He showed them Earth's music, its poetry, its endless variety. He shared the feeling of standing beneath a night sky full of stars, wondering what might be out there. He offered memories of human kindness, strangers helping strangers, sacrifices made for others, forgiveness given when none was deserved. Yes, humans could be violent. Yes, they made mistakes, but they learned. They grew. They dreamed of better worlds. When June finally collapsed to the floor of the chamber, the orbs had changed. The angry red light surrounding Earth in their projection had shifted to a cautious yellow. What happened? Sung asked, helping him to sit up. Did it work? June's eyes had changed again. The blue glow replaced by a pattern of shifting colors like the orbs themselves. They've changed the evaluation, he said, his voice weak but hopeful. Earth isn't being marked for containment. Not yet. So we pass the test? Hana asked. No. June shook his head. The test isn't over. It's just beginning. He struggled to his feet, new knowledge burning in his mind. We need to contact Earth immediately. They're planning to attack the ships. If they do, everything I just accomplished will be undone. Can the ship help us send a stronger message? Sung asked. Something they can't ignore? June nodded, feeling the ship's agreement. Yes, but it will require more from me. Another step away from being fully human. He looked at his hands, noticing for the first time that faint patterns like circuitry were appearing beneath his skin. The ship was changing him, preparing him for something greater. And despite everything, despite the fear and uncertainty, he embraced the transformation. Earth needed him now more than ever before. Let's do it, he said. Let's show the Dominion what humanity is truly capable of. General Quan was counting down the minutes until the attack would begin when the sky over every major city on Earth lit up. Giant screens of energy appeared, floating in the air above skyscrapers and monuments. On each screen was the same image, Captain June Park. But this wasn't the June Park who had left Earth 2 weeks ago. His eyes now held shifting patterns of light. Faint lines like glowing circuits ran beneath his skin. When he spoke, his voice seemed to come from everywhere at once. People of Earth, he said, I am still Captain June Park of the Earth Defense Force. I am alive, as are Lieutenant Hana Kim and Dr. Sung Lee. We are not prisoners. We are ambassadors in a process more important than you can imagine. In the command center, General Quan stared at the nearest screen. Is this real? He asked, the technicians around him. Or some kind of alien trick? The voice pattern matches Captain Park's, one analyst confirmed. But the transmission technology is beyond anything we've ever seen. On the screens, June continued. The ship that came to Earth is part of the Dominion, a collective of 17 advanced civilizations. They monitor developing species throughout the galaxy. Earth has reached a critical point in their evaluation. He explained about the Dominion's concerns, their past experiences with violent species, and the test that humanity now faced. The weapons you're preparing to launch, he said, looking directly at the camera as if he could see the military leaders watching, will confirm their worst fears about us. They will respond with containment or worse. In command centers worldwide, military leaders looked at each other with shock. How could he know about weapons that were top secret? The Dominion fears our unpredictability, June continued. But I've shown them that this same quality makes us unique. We can choose peace, even when our instincts cry for war. We can change, adapt, grow beyond our violent past. His image flickered slightly. I've convinced them to extend our test period. But the next move is yours. The ships in orbit are not a threat, they're observers. Attack them, and humanity fails. Show patience and wisdom, and a new future opens for Earth. The image faded, leaving millions of people worldwide staring at empty sky. In the White House Situation Room, the president made her decision. Stand down the nuclear strike, she ordered, and open a direct channel to that ship. I want to talk to Captain Park myself. Inside the alien vessel, June collapsed to the floor as the massive communication effort ended. The ship had channeled its energy through him, amplifying his message to reach the entire planet simultaneously. That was intense. He gasped as Hana helped him to his feet. Did it work? Sung asked, checking his vital signs with her scanner. Your heart rate is almost twice normal, and these new patterns under your skin are spreading. June closed his eyes, feeling the ship's awareness flowing through him. Earth is standing down their weapons for now. He opened his eyes, which now pulsed with even brighter patterns of light. The president wants to speak with me directly. Can you do that? Hana asked. You barely survived broadcasting to the whole planet. The ship will help, June said. It's eager for this conversation. The Dominion sees this as a promising sign. A doorway formed in the wall, leading them back to the viewing room where screens showed Earth from various angles. One screen enlarged, showing the face of the President of the United States. Captain Park, she said, her expression a mixture of concern and determination. We received your message. I need confirmation that you're speaking freely and not under alien control. June smiled slightly. It was a fair question, but also more complicated than she realized. Was he under alien influence? The ship's presence in his mind grew stronger each day, yet his core self, his human values remained. Madam, President, I understand your concern. I'm changing, as you can see. The ship and I have developed a connection that allows me to communicate with the Dominion, but my loyalty to Earth and humanity remains absolute. The President studied him carefully. These observers, these ships in our orbit, how long will they stay? Until the evaluation is complete, June answered. The Dominion needs to be certain about us before offering membership or leaving us alone. Membership? The President's eyebrows raised. In this Dominion? It's one possible outcome, June explained. The Dominion includes species at various stages of development. Some are so advanced they barely resemble physical beings anymore. Others are only a few centuries ahead of us. All share knowledge, resources, and protection. And the alternative? June hesitated. If we're deemed too unpredictable but not immediately threatening, they'll simply leave, removing all evidence of their existence from our world. We'd develop on our own, unaware of the larger galactic community until we're ready. And if we're deemed threatening? June's expression darkened. Containment. The weapons already positioned around our solar system would activate, creating a barrier no ship could cross. Earth would become a quarantined world. The President absorbed this information, her face grim. So we're being judged by standards we don't fully understand, with our entire future at stake. Yes, June admitted. But I'm working to help them understand us better. Humans are different from any species they've encountered before. Our adaptability, our emotions, our creativity, these are rare qualities in the galaxy. And these changes you're experiencing, the President asked, gesturing toward the visible alterations in June's appearance. Are they permanent? June felt the truth through his connection with the ship. Yes, the integration is progressing. It allows me to serve as a bridge between our species. Without it, communication would be much more difficult. You're sacrificing yourself for this role, the President observed. I'm evolving for it, June corrected gently. And I do it willingly. The President nodded slowly. What do you need from Earth, Captain? Patience, openness, and a delegation. June smiled at her surprised expression. Yes, the ship is willing to receive a small group of Earth representatives, scientists, diplomats, artists. The Dominion wants to understand humanity better, from more than just my perspective. That's unexpected, the President said. But welcome news. We'll prepare a delegation immediately. After the communication ended, Hana turned to June with concern in her eyes. A delegation? Are you sure that's wise? What if they see how much you've changed and think you've been taken over? June touched the wall of the ship, feeling its warm response. They need to see. To understand that cooperation with the Dominion means change, but not loss of identity. Sung studied him with scientific curiosity. Speaking of change, the alterations to your DNA are accelerating. Whatever the ship is doing to you, it's happening faster now. June nodded, aware of the transformation on a deep level. His senses had expanded beyond human norm. He could feel the ship's systems as extensions of his own body. When he closed his eyes, he could perceive the vast network of the Dominion spanning the galaxy. I'm becoming something new, he acknowledged. Neither fully human, nor fully like them, a bridge between worlds. And you're okay with that? Hannah asked softly. June considered the question carefully. There was fear, yes, fear of losing himself, of becoming something unrecognizable. But there was also wonder at what he was experiencing, and hope for what it might mean for Earth. I chose this, he said finally, and I would choose it again, because sometimes to save what you love you have to be willing to change. The ship hummed around them as if in approval. Outside, Earth waited for answers, and across the stars, the Dominion watched with growing interest as humanity faced its greatest test. 1 month after the alien ship first appeared in Earth's orbit, it returned. A delegation of 12 humans, scientists, diplomats, artists, and military officers had spent 2 weeks aboard. They returned with stories of wonders beyond imagination and confirmation of everything Captain June Park had told them. Now the ship hung above Earth once more, and the final decision of the Dominion was at hand. Inside the main chamber, June stood before the council of 17 orbs. His transformation was nearly complete. His skin glowed with patterns of light that matched the ship's interior. His eyes had become pools of shifting colors. When he moved, there was a fluid grace that seemed more than human. Yet in his heart and mind, he remained June Park, devoted to Earth and its people, determined to secure their future among the stars. The evaluation period has ended, he announced to the assembled Earth delegation. The council will deliver their judgment today. General Kwan, who had insisted on being part of the delegation despite his initial push for military action, studied June with a mixture of awe and concern. And if their judgment goes against us, he asked. Then I will continue to advocate for Earth, June replied simply. The orbs began to pulse and spin, forming the now familiar ring of light. In the center, an image of Earth appeared. But this time, instead of being surrounded by red or yellow light, it glowed with a soft blue. June felt the decision flow into his mind through his connection with the ship. Joy and relief filled him. The Dominion has made its choice, and he announced. Earth is being offered probationary membership. Murmurs of surprise and excitement ran through the delegation. The head diplomat, Dr. Maya Lee, stepped forward. What exactly does that mean, Captain? She asked. It means Earth will be recognized as a developing member of the galactic community, June explained. We'll receive limited access to Dominion, knowledge, medical advancements, sustainable energy technology, new scientific understanding. In exchange, we agree to certain restrictions on weapons development and expansion beyond our solar system for the next 50 years. Restrictions? General Kwan frowned. That sounds like containment with a nicer name. June shook his head. Not containment. Guidance. The Dominion has seen too many young species destroy themselves with technologies they weren't ready for. This is protection. For us and for others. The general didn't look convinced. And after 50 years? Full membership if we prove ourselves peaceful and responsible. June smiled, the expression making the lights beneath his skin pulse brighter. The Dominion believes we can do it. That's why they're offering this opportunity. The delegation discussed among themselves, weighing the offer. Most seemed pleased, even excited about the possibilities. Only General Kwan remained skeptical. There's something you're not telling us, he said quietly to June when the others were distracted. Something about your role in all this. June nodded, appreciating the general's perception. You're right. The Dominion's offer comes with one condition. They require a permanent ambassador, someone who can serve as a bridge between Earth and the Council. Understanding dawned on the general's face. You? Yes, June confirmed. I've already begun the transformation. The ship and I are becoming integrated. I'll retain my human consciousness, my memories, my values, but I'll also become part of the Dominion's network. So you'll never return to Earth? There was genuine sadness in the general's voice now, despite their past disagreements. I'll visit, June said, but my place will be here, among the stars. This ship will be my home, my body in a way. Through me, humanity will have a voice in the council when decisions are made. General Kwan was silent for a long moment. When we first detected the ship, I was convinced it was a threat. I was ready to destroy it, and you with it. You were doing your job, June said, protecting Earth the only way you knew how. And now you're protecting Earth in a way none of us could have imagined. The general extended his hand. Thank you, Captain Park, for your sacrifice. June shook his hand, feeling the strange contrast between the general's warm human skin and his own transformed body. It's not a sacrifice when you choose it willingly. Later, after the delegation had departed with the news of Earth's new status, June stood alone in the viewing room. On the screens around him, he watched Earth turning slowly below, blue oceans, white clouds, green and brown land masses. His home. He felt a presence behind him and turned to see Lieutenant Hana Kim. She had undergone a partial transformation herself, choosing to remain aboard as his assistant and Earth's secondary representative. Faint patterns of light had begun to appear on her skin, though nowhere near as pronounced as June's. Having second thoughts, she asked. June shook his head. No, but I am having feelings. Homesickness? Something like that. He gestured toward the view of Earth. I never wanted to leave it, you know. When I joined the Defense Force, all I wanted was to protect our home. And that's exactly what you're doing, Hana pointed out. Just not in the way any of us expected. June smiled. Life rarely follows our expectations. He placed his hand against the wall of the ship, feeling its warm response, no longer alien, but familiar and comforting. Through their connection, he sensed the vast network of the Dominion spreading across the galaxy, and now, for the first time, Earth's small but growing presence within that network. Do you know what surprised the Council most about humans? He asked. Hana shook her head. Our capacity for change, June said. Most species resist it, fear it. But humans, we adapt, we transform, we embrace new possibilities. In a universe where most civilizations take thousands of years to evolve, we're remarkably fluid. Is that why they chose you? Because you were willing to change? Partly, June acknowledged, but also because I remained human in the ways that matter most. Loyalty, compassion, hope. The ship hummed around them, its systems harmonizing with June's thoughts. Soon they would depart Earth's orbit, beginning a journey to the Dominion's central worlds where June would formally take his place on the Council. It would be years before he returned to Earth, yet he felt no regret. The dangerous ship sent to evaluate humanity had become his home, his purpose, his future, and through him, Earth would find its place among the stars. The Dominion thought they were testing us, June said softly. But in the end, we changed them too. They've never encountered a species quite like humans before. And they never will again, Hana added with a smile. June nodded, watching as Earth grew smaller on the viewing screens as the ship began to move away. He had never wanted to leave his home. But he hadn't, not really. He had simply found a way to carry it with him into the vast, waiting universe. And someday, when the probation ended, humanity would join him there. Not as subjects or students, but as equals, bringing their unique spark to the ancient Dominion. The ship that had once seemed so dangerous, so alien, responded to his thoughts, accelerating smoothly toward the stars. June Park, no longer fully human, but more than he had ever been, smiled as Earth vanished from view. The test was over. The real journey had just begun.